Hey everybody, welcome back, and thank you all so much for being patient. I know the content has been coming out kind of slow the last few weeks. I'm currently like neck deep in my kids' baseball season, 3 kids on 3 different teams, plus work and personal life and everything else, so just bear with me. The plan is actually to eventually do more of a podcast format, maybe do it a couple times a week, 1 hour, break it up into a few different segments. We'll see how that goes, but again, I just appreciate you guys all being patient and just hanging in there. So, a lot has happened in the last couple of years with Doctor Who. In fact, before, I believe his name is actually pronounced Ncuti Gatwa. I've been saying Ncuti in the past, but I believe it's Ncuti, so we're just going to go with that. Before they had him come on as the new Doctor, I do believe it was Jodie Whittaker that portrayed the Doctor in the most recent version, and people were not thrilled with that. It was definitely not a positive thing for the show, for the fans. It just took it to a whole different direction that nobody was really prepared for or asking for. And now what we have is this guy, Ncuti Gatwa, who was taken on, I believe it started before the Christmas season last year, because then they had that Christmas special with the bi-generation and the troll things, and it was a gigantic freak show, to be honest. But this is where we are now. He is the new Doctor, and he is going to be the more flamboyant, open about his sexuality, and obviously darker skinned, which is fine because there's already been a Black Doctor before, but this time around, it's going to take a much different aspect. It's going to take on a different meaning with the character. And you can see this with a lot of the choices that they've made for the show, where they've had this girl, Millie Gibson, who was the companion, that is now out after 1 season. She's being replaced by, I believe, the girl from Andor, Varada Sethu. Yep, so she's out. We've had people from the show, David Tennant, the one that was part of the whole bi-generation thing, where now him and Ncuti Gatwa exist at the exact same time, going off on some BAFTA award speech, mocking Trump, getting super political, when, the fans just want him to play the role that they've gotten used to him playing, and a lot of people are big fans of David Tennant as the Doctor. And we've seen things in the most recent week where Ncuti Gatwa has come out saying that he wants Doctor Who to feature a dance scene where the Doctor destroys a monster with twerking. Now, how this actually correlates to the show, I don't understand myself, because honestly, this is a very strange thing for anybody to say. I don't care about your orientation or your proclivities or whatever you'd like to do on your off time. This is just a weird thing for somebody to say. And this was in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, where he said that on his wish list for the Doctor, he's like, I need a big dance number. That's what I'm going to put into the universe. I need the Doctor to have a big, fierce dance routine that, destroys a monster with twerking. He added, or maybe some death drops, and that's what will drop the monster. Very strange. It's a very weird, very odd thing to say. And again, to each their own, different strokes for different folks, but it just doesn't flow with the character. It doesn't flow with the show or the fan base or anybody. So I'm not quite sure who this new Doctor is for. Then, even more recently, just yesterday, we saw the article come out talking about how he has criticized, Ncuti Gatwa has, praise of white mediocrity, while Black people must be flawless to get half of that. So you can tell things are definitely increasing at a very, very fast pace, going into more of a very polarized political direction with this particular Doctor. And the sad thing is, it doesn't really have to be this way. A lot of us can separate art from artist. A lot of us are fans of different actors and singers and performers who we don't agree with on anything politically. And that's okay, because we can look past that and say, I appreciate their art, I appreciate their music, I appreciate what they put on the screen, and I can leave it at that. But unfortunately, when people are constantly cramming their own political views into your face, into the show, into the movie or the video game or whatever it is that you're trying to enjoy, and unplug your brain for 5 minutes, it gets to be too tiring, and you can no longer just separate art from artist. You can no longer ignore it, and it becomes everything that you see when you look at this particular person. And so the quote from him, from Ncuti Gatwa, says, "There's so much white mediocrity that gets celebrated. And Black people, we have to be absolutely flawless to get half of that anyway." Now, while I might disagree with that, I'm just going to leave that statement alone, and we're going to continue on with the interview here. He said he is teaching himself about self-acceptance, that he deserves just love just for existing. So yeah, I'm just learning now, oh, you are allowed to be loved, Gatwa continued. You don't have to be excellent or aspire to that term, quote, Black excellence. What the hell? Gatwa also appeared in the Barbie movie and is the first Black man to be cast in Doctor Who as the Doctor, the show's 15th. And it says here again, British actress Jo Martin preceded him, portraying the fugitive doctor, the first black woman cast. So technically, he's not the first black person, but he is the first black man. He told Attitude about the backlash he received in 2022 after announcing his pending role, noting people were so angry over something so inconsequential. No, honestly, if Idris Elba or any other prominent, well-respected black actor had gotten the role, people would have been far more accepting of it. It's because he comes in with this victim mindset and this mentality and this ideology that he has to cram into the character, and it doesn't fit. You know, there's been a lot of talk recently about Warhammer, about video games, about the tourists who come into a genre, into a story, and have to inject their own, their own politics into it, have to see the representation the way that they need to feel included when they rather than just doing what they're supposed to do and say, hey, I like what you're doing, I want to be a part of it, great, and then you'll be accepted. They have to see themselves or their own representation or their own ideology crammed into a universe that it has no part of. And that's why people have rejected Ncuti Gatwa. It's not because he's black or because he's gay, it's because of the fact that the politics come first with these people. Now today, we have this article from Screen Rant where it's been confirmed, essentially, that there will be a new story aspect for the new season. There will be new things that they're tackling for this new era. And so, of course, it says, Ncuti Gatwa confirms that one important story aspect of Doctor Who will be tackled in the new era, which has not been prominent in the past. And the article goes on to say that it's been confirmed that one important story aspect is going to be tackled in the new era. Gatwa portrays the 15th Doctor, having debuted in the 60th anniversary special, right before his first adventure in the holiday episode, The Church on Ruby Road. Speaking with Attitude, Gatwa confirmed that one important subject Doctor Who Season 14 is going to tackle will be race. Shocker. I mean, just hit like and subscribe if you are shocked by this. The actor explained how, as the first long-term Black Doctor in the series, the subject will arise due to its historical relevance. He also explained how showrunner Russell T Davies wanted to combine sci-fi with more human stories in this way. Exactly what all of us all want, right? Race, this is Gatwa speaking here. Race does make appearances, yes. It is quite different for the Doctor. It's not the first time Jo Martin is the first Doctor that is black. She played the time-traveling fugitive Doctor, but it is the first time the Doctor's been black for this long. And so we have to address those elements of the character now because Earth, unfortunately, is still quite a funny little place. And so, yeah, we will be addressing these things. Russell has such a knack of being able to bring in these elements of our humanity through the sci-fi lens in a really interesting way. As Gatwa mentions, he's not the first Black Doctor, but of course, it's the very first time that they are going to address this and say, yes, we can't just let him play the Doctor and let fans make up their own minds about whether or not they enjoy it, whether or not they believe he's the right person for the job, or that they believe his portrayal is fitting for the show. Now we're going to go, okay, we're going to give you a lecture now about this person's race, about this character's background, rather than just having a good show that entertains our audience and appeals to the fans. So this is honestly, Doctor Who has been in a bad spot for a few years now, but this is probably the death nail in the coffin. I'm not sure how much longer Doctor Who can go on, because remember, although it is technically still owned and operated, I do believe, mostly by the BBC, Disney has the licensing rights over here, and that puts a whole, monkey wrench in the thing, because Disney has this agenda that they feel the need to incessantly push, and that's where we are with this show. So it's never going to get any better, and honestly, it just needs to end. I feel bad for all the longtime Doctor Who fans. Things have just gone from bad to worse. But let me know what you think about all this down below. Let me know if you're still continuing on with this show, if you're suffering through it, if you're finding some little nuggets of joy in there. Again, I appreciate you all being patient. We will try to get more content out in the near future, and I will catch you guys later. All right, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.